Hello and welcome to another episode of With Enough Prep Time. I'm your host, the Nerd Man, and today we'll be talking about, well, it's something, that's come up. Like I've been questioning myself, do I support hashtag restore the Snyderverse? And if not, why not? So today I've got with me my man, JG Shaolin Terrific, the Shaolin man. What are you saying, bro?
What is up? What is up? You know me, JG Shaolin, kicking ass, taking names for a living, man. Let's do it.
Cool, man. Uh, so let me ask you, man. Like, what's your take on whether you want to restore the Snyderverse? Like, is that something that you'd be interested? I'm guessing you don't hashtag restore the Snyderverse, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I were to put a hashtag restore the Snyderverse, it would be just to be sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
No, we do not need to restore the Snyderverse. There's no need for it. Like they're doing Flashpoint anyway, so everything's going to change anyway. So there's really no point in it at all.
All right. I mean, I see what you're saying there. But I would say that talking about it, that I really, I mean, we both like the Justice League, right? We both like the movie, right? Or are we?
Yeah.
Am I wrong about that? Yeah, you
You're
liked
right.
it.
I love what a Snyder Cut anyway.
Yeah. What did you like about it? Let's just talk about like what we liked about it first, and then go on from there.
Okay, well, as far as the Snyder Cut, I love the fact that it was a straight up epic comic book film. Right, we got the action we wanted, the visuals are on point. I love Darkseid. I know some people had complaints about his CG. It was fine to me.
Darkseid was amazing. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I thought he was fine to me. I love Wonder Woman. The first half of the film, it showed that hey, she is an Amazon warrior and still can be a lady at the same time, be that sexy woman, but still kick ass when she needs to. We saw that. I love how the characters were fleshed out. I loved Flash Barry Allen's character a lot better in this. He wasn't annoying. He wasn't annoyingly funny in the Snyder Cut as it was in the Josh Whedon's version. Of course, we gotta talk about Cyborg, like his character. I loved how he was the heart of the story and how his characters fleshed out in the film made it seem so, and it fit really well. I loved Steppenwolf's design. He was menacing. He was a badass. He was a beast. He like, hey, I'm coming in. I'm wrecking shit. I'm not coming in to do all this talking and monologuing. No, I'm here for a reason, and I'm finna. If I gotta cut heads off, if I gotta kill horses, it's going down, right? And so I think everyone had a purpose. I even loved the Easter eggs he had in it too, like the Atom.
The Atom was good. The Atom was good. I didn't like Martian Manhunter though, I have to say.
Yeah, because I think we talked about the Lois and Martha scene, which was a great scene, but then just ruined it when he walks out and he turns into Manhunter. Like, come on, bro, you had me, then you just killed it with that. Why? So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was such a misfire and that is perfectly the example of Snyder getting in his own way. I think that's my main issue with him as a director. He gets in his own way sometimes, and it is to the detriment of his own films. But I think I'll just piggyback off what you were saying about the Snyder Cut. What I felt it did is, if you take away that epilogue, you've actually got the beginnings of a really nice team that I liked all the characters. I liked Aquaman. I liked where Cyborg was going. Still not my favorite Justice League member, but certainly after this film, I was like, I'll be interested in a Cyborg film. Low-key, I might go see that once in the cinema. I'm not going to go see a Cyborg film multiple times unless it's mind-blowing. But I'd go and see I'd go and support that for one movie. See what that was about. I liked Wonder Woman after she'd been completely totaled in Wonder Woman 84. I thought, holy shit, I don't know if we can go back to this character that soon, because Patty Jenkins is off doing other movies, and Gal Gadot's pregnant, and I thought maybe this is over. Maybe my dream as a Wonder Woman fan, I'm never going to see that, because Wonder Woman 1 was good, but like it wasn't the perfect Wonder Woman film. I'm looking for that perfect Wonder Woman film that just takes it to that next level and makes her as iconic as Superman and Batman, basically.
Well, I thought Wonder Woman 1 was a great introduction.
Yeah, exactly. But you need the dark. You need the Dark Knight of that.
With the waiting for it, they just went backwards. So
yeah. But what I'm saying is, you need to go exactly. You need to go forwards. You need to go with the Dark Knight, the Superman 2, the of that franchise. Basically, yeah. You can fuck up on the third movie. You can't fuck up on the second movie.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that's really a bad place to fuck up. Fuck up on the third movie, fine, but when you need to get them over that hill. And so I thought Patty was pretty lucky that this happened in the pandemic, because it fucked up the numbers. So really, Wonder Woman 1984 was kind of a success anyway. But if that hit the cinemas, that would have been a Batman and Robin situation, I think.
Ooh, I don't know if it would have been that bad.
I don't think it would have got repeat viewings. I think that would have gone down. I think the drop in the second weekend would have been crazy, bro, for that movie. Because it's not only just a bad movie, it's a bad movie that's out of its time as well. It's not something that screams contemporary action blockbuster. Yeah, there are bad, sequels that are less good than their first movies, but they're not. They're still something that you can kind of like watch, and it's still the same tone as the previous. Like even Spider-Man 3, it wasn't as big a disappointment because it's still in the same tone. It's got the action scenes. It's got things, but that one just seemed out of time. That Wonder Woman, it felt like a film that should have been made in the 70s or something like that.
I think that's what she was going for. I think she was going for that 1980s Wonder Woman / Christopher Reeve Superman cheese kind of. I can deal with it.
It was just the wrong time. But anyway, we're spending too much time on Wonder Woman. But I like Zack Snyder got her back, and I didn't like her killing, but as far as I'm concerned, she's back now. So Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Flash. I think Flash is going to make $1 billion. The movie after this film. I really do. That they put the Snyder Cut put Flash on the map. It really did. Like with that Flashpoint scene, I think you're going to see a lot. Also, into the Speed Force ship, you're going to see a lot of excitement there. Aquaman, I liked him in this. He was playing the kind of is it Tyrese character from the Fast and the Furious?
Yeah.
Like the guy who's always like, I don't know about this plan, man. You want to do what? I liked he was that guy. You want to do what now? You're gonna drive the car over the car to do, and I like Aquaman was that character. I thought that was fun. Batman, wasn't great in it. Like Ben Affleck wasn't great in the Snyder Cut, but.
He's one character I would say I like better in Jeff Johns' version than I did Snyder's version of it.
Yeah, kind of. I suppose. I think they were bad in both, to be honest. But he was better in BVS. I don't know where that BVS energy, kind of has, dissipated, in Snyder's movies. I think That Batman was much more intriguing, like the James Bond style Batman that he was
Yeah.
in Batman v Superman. I thought that was the best version of Ben Affleck's Batman. And Superman, I thought, once again, like that scene rehabilitated what Zack Snyder had been doing with Superman before, like the flying scene, the scenes on the farm. It wasn't much, but it was something. So which takes us to the question, hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Why I personally cannot get behind it. All right. So I've got 3 reasons.
Okay.
And we can discuss them in turn, right?
Okay.
So one of my I've lost my freaking page again. Why do I close pages that I'm open? One of them is HBO Max. That Snyder fans are calling for this to be done on HBO Max. And you know, like the big thing is getting a Deathstroke movie and getting a Batman vs Deathstroke movie, Ben Affleck style, on HBO Max. So I'll get to that. His divisiveness is one of the reasons. His divisiveness in his movies, and the last is the storyline. So these are the 3 main reasons. So I'm gonna go through it one by one with you, and I'll explain my reason, and then you can respond. So the first thing is the HBO Max. This is what they're pushing for. They're going to what's his name? Something Keeler, the head of HBO Max, the guy who can make the ultimate decisions at AT&T. And they're trying to promote this idea that you could do the Snyderverse on HBO Max, give it like $100 million budget for each film, and you know do a couple of Justice League movies on HBO. Essentially, continue the universe on HBO Max. Do a Batman versus Deathstroke movie on HBO Max. Basically move the Snyderverse to HBO Max, while at the same time in the actual DC universe main or proper, that's where you'll get the Batman and Black Adam and Flash, like an alternate universe existing on HBO Max. Now, my problem with that is budget isn't there. There's no way HBO Max is going to invest in that. So I think it's a stupid idea. You go big or you go home with the Justice League. You don't do $100 million Justice League movie. And what I think that will do is it's going to limit what Zack Snyder can do visually, what he can do with the cast, and you know, effectively, it will make the movie just really bad, especially if it encourages him to continue dwelling in this nightmare universe of his, because that would be the easiest thing to do if you're going on a HBO Max budget, is just to stay in this nightmare universe where everyone's dead, apart from Batman and Flash and Cyborg. I can't. To me, that is just a terrible idea for a sequel. I think it will cause Zack Snyder more harm than good. People will be, you know, it will come out. His fans will love it, as they always love all of his movies. Everyone else is going to hate on it and shit on him, and it's just going to be it's going to be terrible for him. So I don't want to see that for him. I don't want to see that for a second Justice League movie. You need, if you're going to do a Zack Snyder Justice League series, you've got to do it in the cinemas. You've got to put a budget behind it. You've got to do it in the cinemas. This whole stuff on HBO Max. And to be honest, I've never been a fan of the Batman idea by Ben Affleck with Deathstroke. So those are my reasons. Tell me, first of all, what do you think of the Ben Affleck idea with Deathstroke, and then you can talk to me about what you think of my reasoning behind the HBO Max not having, you won't have the budget to do a Justice League movie if you're going to push it on HBO Max. I just think it will be very confusing.
Okay, well, to start off with the Batman and Deathstroke thing, I think I love it because number one, I love martial arts films anyway,
Of
right?
course,
And they were
yeah.
going to tie in people from the Raid who are going to be part of it as well. So I think that would have been fucking epic and dope, right? At the same time, I don't think it's needed at this point. It's not needed. If they continue with the Snyderverse like we're talking about now, then maybe yeah. But I mean, now it'd be like, okay, we do it then, like what's going on now, right? We got Snyder Cut. Now they're screaming, hey, let's continue the Snyderverse, right? We give them a crumb, they're gonna keep wanting more and more and more.
Do you know? I'll tell you something just to piggyback just quickly off what you said. I would much rather Gareth Evans do the Amazons movie if he, the Raid guy.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I'd rather him do the Amazons movie or series than do Deathstroke, because what it adds to the universe. I mean, Deathstroke's interesting. I've never found him like it would be great. Gareth Evans, is it Gareth Evans?
I think so.
Yeah. Him doing the Deathstroke would be amazing. No doubt about it. That would be an amazing idea. I'd be down for that. But I would like him to take a shot at the Amazons, like a war movie with the Amazons. I think that would be fucking cool. But anyway, carry on with what you're saying.
Okay, and so yeah, I just don't think it's needed. I would love to see it. It's like an Expendables kind of thing. Like, hey, just give me that testosterone all in one film. Blood, guts, kung fu fighting, put it all in one film, right? It's a cool film, a guy film, right? But as far as being part of the universe and all that, it's not needed. So that's the reason why I wouldn't want it. Now, as far as what we're talking about as well, like you're right, HBO Max does not have the money to finance what Snyder wants. Because Snyder is very heavy on visuals. That's going to cost a shitload of money. HBO Max does not have. Secondly, like I also mentioned earlier, they're doing Flashpoint. So they're going to use Flashpoint to fix the mistakes that they made, right? So there's really no point of continuing the Snyderverse after that. Thirdly, and I have to say this, is just what Snyder wanted to do, what he planned on doing. No, the whole thing of the Superman and Lois kid becoming the next Batman, and all no, that's now you're taking too much away from what we see as far as in the company. You're going full retard and whatever the hell you want, right?
You
might have too many yes men around him.
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna definitely get to that. And yeah, you're right. I think that is just the nightmare universe is my nightmare. I literally, I might end up watching the movie and, waking up in cold sweats, like a Vietnam War vet or something like that, and just screaming, Snyder, waking up. Nightmares, like Joker, like I put the Joker as the picture for this video, because that to me is everything that hashtag Restore the Snyderverse has in store for us. If you let Snyder just do what he wants. Also, Kazi Nabir, man, hi dude, peace. I will be reading the chat, so I'm going to read a couple of chats now. Everyone else besides Snyder fans are going to hate the sequel, really. That's like saying everyone else beside the Snyder fans hate Zack Snyder's Justice League, which isn't true. I agree with that. We could talk about that in just a second, and I'll get to your next thing here. Given the time and freedom on HBO Max, Snyder can accomplish a lot and win pro and even anti-Snyder fans in the sequel. Again, maybe I'll address that now.
Go
Mike.
ahead.
So what he's planning basically is a universe that where Snyder is off the leash. Okay, we've got to a point at the end of the Justice League one film, right, where it would be like going from Avengers 1 all the way to Endgame, and even skipping Avengers Infinity War. So just going from Avengers to Endgame. And all I'm saying, and all I've been saying, really is, if they take time to actually look at what they've accomplished with this Snyder Cut movie, that they've actually accomplished getting the team together in a way, in a dynamic that people really like. Now it's time to get our Green Lanterns in, get our Martian Manhunters in, give us that one movie, 2 movies even, where with the Justice League, with Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern on board. Maybe even throw a Shazam in one of Shazam into one of these movies as well. Then bring in Apocalypse and show him destroying and killing all of the Justice League. And if you want to turn Superman evil, then and go the injustice route, by all means, have at it. But at least let us see a Superman that is good for 2 movies, so that we will be emotionally invested in when he goes down that darker route, because he succumbs to the anti-life equation or something like that. I just really think you're gonna run into some big problems. For me, you're gonna run into some very big problems with the reception of this movie if you just go straight from Avengers to Avengers Endgame. And that's what he wants to do, and I think it's a terrible mistake. And I'm not totally against his nightmare scenario film at all, but I'm just saying that nightmare scenario film has its place, and it needs building up to. And you're losing out on billions of dollars in between, if you just rush into that. What do you think of that, Charlene?
Yeah, Snyder's world universe is basically an Elseworld universe, right? Where he's just doing, like you said, whatever he wants to do, which is it's fine if you just want to do a fan-made fiction thing. But when you're talking about on film, taking characters that people love, you can't just do whatever you want with them and say, "Hey, look at me." No, and plus the fans are already divided as it is, right? You have
Right.
the DC fans, you have the Snyder fans, you have those who just are just regular comic book fans, right?
Yeah.
And I look what we got with the Batman. I'm sure we'll talk about it later too. You have the Batman that's based off of the Long Halloween. Then you have the Long Halloween Batman animated movie.
Mm.
It's too much.
Mm.
It's just too much, right? Now, I would love Snyder to be involved in a project, but as far as what he wants to do with the Snyderverse, no, it's not needed. It's okay if you have somebody that's in the same, okay, like we talked before, like he's a child, like, okay, that's a cool idea, but let's try this instead, right? But
Yeah.
I don't think Snyder's ego would allow him to do that.
I think this is my thing with Snyder. He is controllable, because we saw that with the Justice League movie, Zack Snyder's Justice League, he compromised. He compromised from the beginning. The studio told him no after the reception of BVS. We've got to change the story. We've got to add some elements in it that make it more palatable to mainstream audiences, and he did that. And the only places where, if you see the Zack Snyder's Justice League, where again it slips into that area where Zack Snyder is doing things that are too controversial with the characters, is on those reshoots. The reshoots are the things that people are complaining about the most. So Mike 1VA02 says, fair point, but the same could be said about BVS to Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that transition worked out fine. You don't need solo movies that jump to sequels that could be made given the 4 hours. Look, I've got to say this. One of the problems with Zack Snyder's Justice League is it's 4 hours. And the reason it has to be 4 hours is because they didn't do the solo movies. No matter what you want to say about whether we enjoyed the Snyder cut or Zack Snyder's Justice League or not, the sensible thing would have been, and even Chris Terrio himself in an interview has said this, the sensible thing would have been to do the solo movies, see how they performed, and then go and do a Justice League where you know Wonder Woman's origin, you know where Wonder Woman is at this point, you know where Superman is at that point, you know where Batman is, you know where Flash is, you know where all the main characters are, and you don't have to spend lots of time, giving their origins and doing all of that stuff. And then you could have focused much more on Darkseid, his minions, on Steppenwolf, on his backstory, what happened to him on Apocalypse with his family. You could have actually seen that, so that Steppenwolf, as much as I liked him, could have been an even more compelling villain if you saw, oh shit, like, because it's alluded to that his family basically betrayed Darkseid, so he had to go against his own family and kill them, and then go and then he owed Darkseid however many planets that he owed him afterwards. So that whole backstory of Steppenwolf couldn't be explored because you had to explore Cyborg, you had to explore Flash, you had to set up all of these characters, which would have been much easier done if they had their origin movies first and then the Snyder Cut. I don't believe the transition from BVS to Zack Snyder's Justice League worked all that well at all. I think it worked pretty badly, to be honest. I just think that Zack Snyder's just such a good filmmaker that the film turned out okay. Like, in terms of it had enough spectacle in it to make up for the fact that the storytelling was a little bit messy. What do you think of that, Alan?
I somewhat agree with what he says about the transition from BVS to Zack Snyder's Justice League. Let me rephrase. Let me change that. I think BVS transitions into Joss Whedon's cut better than it does in the Zack Snyder's cut. Because in BVS, it ends with Batman telling Wonder Woman, "Hey, we need to go out, basically go out and find people, whatever." You see, when Joss Whedon started his, you see that the world's without Superman, and those work together. As far as Zack Snyder's cut and BVS, I agree. The transition wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
I mean, okay, so before we continue, I wanted to just say, please do give me a high five, smash that like button, and do subscribe, obviously, for more content there. Smashing the like button does help my algorithm, obviously, and keep on commenting. We'll be answering the comments, definitely. So we've talked about the HBO Max thing, the restrictions and budgets. Now I want to do a deep dive into my second reason for not being able to fully be on board with hashtag Restore the Snyderverse, even though I did, as I said, love the Justice League. And as I said, it is the divisiveness of Zack Snyder, and I want to avoid. This is my thing. I want to avoid at all possibility. I don't even want to give it the chance for Zack Snyder himself to put out another movie that's divisive. I don't think that Zack Snyder's Justice League is divisive for people who have seen it, right? I think mostly people who have seen it, who are comic book fans, like the movie a lot. But I don't think they understand the process of what happened. I think they're just saying, oh, Zack Snyder's responsible for everything, and that's why it's so great. But what happened prior to anything being shot was the studio came in and said, Zack, we're going to put Jeff Johns and John Berg there with you. We're going to give you some studio notes, copious studio notes. You're going to have to make it a little bit more lighter in tone than than your previous movies. And I think that Zack Snyder didn't listen all that much because it's still quite a dark, serious movie. But I think the balance worked between the studio kind of overseeing what he was doing and making sure, you got some lighthearted moments, and that kind of inspirational moment for Superman where he first takes flight and you hear Jonathan Kent finally telling him what he should have been telling him all throughout the last two movies. So you get all of that stuff. So the reason I think this movie is less divisive is because Zack Snyder actually did, as I said, like I've said this before, he went against, I feel like he put the Watchmen-esque deconstructions of these characters in his former movie. And in this movie, he actually tried to do what he should have been doing all the time, which is actually do the actual characters, not the deconstructions, but the actual characters themselves, and put them in the film. Put Superman, put Wonder Woman, put Flash in the film, and it worked. It worked with his style because it meant that you had the darker, more serious version of these characters. Like, this is what the characters would look like in a more semi-realistic kind of world. Even down to I liked his version of the Atom Man and stuff like that. That's what that guy would look like in the real world. So he did really nice kind of versions of these characters where he really thought, okay, what would it look like if they were in some kind of reality like ours? But it seems to me like with the next movie, he wants to go back to the deconstructions immediately, right? He wants to go back to that deconstructive impulse that he has. And the problem with that is that has proven divisive in Man of Steel. It's proven divisive in BVS. He needs to let these characters be these characters for at least another movie or another two movies. So that's my opinion on that. So I think it'll be less divisive if he does that for two movies. Then you can go on to the Nightmare Universe.
But I mean, given Zack Snyder, I got it. And I love the comparison with the Watchmen and Justice League. It's a great comparison. You're right. These characters need to be their own characters, right? Because we saw Wonder Woman 1. Great introduction, right? Then we get to BVS and it's like, I kind of gave up on humanity. Well, why did you give up on humanity? Why? We need to go into those details of why you did that. So you won't have that, like you said, defensiveness where that's not my Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman give up on humanity. Well, we say that because we don't know why she gave up on humanity, right? Then we get to we get to every character like Batman. Each person has their own identity. They are their own character. That's what should have been done from the beginning. Give everybody their solo movies. Well, not everybody. You probably could put I forgot the guy's name already, Cyborg, in Justice League without having to have his own movie. Because his backstory is pretty much in Justice League anyway. So the Trinity, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, give them their own movies. Give them their own films, right? Then introduce Flash, right? And Aquaman, it was a story a while back where how Superman saved the Man of Steel when he was in the water. Oh, Aquaman came to save him. Throw that in the Aquaman film. Combine these shit together, make it fluid, make it flow, and then start doing the Justice League stuff. Right? That's not what happened. DC was so money hungry. We would be so much like Marvel. Hey, we got a Man of Steel. Okay, we got Wonder Woman. Okay, BVS. Let's put them all together. No, it has to flow. the MCU did what 10 years before they got to know what they became. It's not going to happen in 2 movies. It's not going to happen in 2 movies. Give these guys their own films. We got Flashpoint, right? Okay, use Flashpoint, start the shit over. And I love like you talked about how in Zack Snyder Justice League when Superman takes flight, he hears his dad say, "Hey, take flight, son, take flight." That's the part we should have seen in Man of Steel.
And I think if we saw that Park Kent in Man of Steel and we saw this Superman in Man of Steel, same story, but this Superman, that Park Kent, I think Man of Steel would have been a success. I honestly do. I think it would have been a wild success. And I don't even think you would have had to change anything about the story.
But that's
sorry, man, you're breaking up a little bit. So repeat what you said. You broke up a little bit.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah,
I was saying, Man of Steel. Okay, Man of Steel was a great film, but it wasn't a good Superman film. It wasn't a good Superman film. It's too, like I said, to me, Zack Snyder's too elseworldy, right? Because a lot of these characters that he's done are elseworld characters. Like the Superman we saw in Man of Steel, that's not a Superman that we've grown up watching. That's not a Superman we've grown up reading about. You know, and it's just, and Barry Allen was more Bart Allen to me than it was Barry Allen. And Justice League, Jeff, I was gonna say Jeff Johns. But
I don't buy that stuff about the Flash. Like Flash is basically, I don't care if they do a Wally West, Barry Allen mashup in the Flash movie or in the Flash, because it's just like, it's Flash. That's what he was in the animated series. He was a bit like an annoying, goofy jokester kind of guy. But you want that origin story for Barry Allen. Barry Allen's origin story is cool. So I don't mind, I don't think Snyder deconstructed the Flash. I think he deconstructed Superman. I think he deconstructed Batman. He somewhat deconstructed Wonder Woman, even though I think she was pretty good in the BVS. I think she was pretty good. He deconstructed Batman, but I still recognize Batman. Superman was the big one where I'm like, I don't recognize this character. This isn't Superman. It's like you're making Dr. Manhattan into Superman. Batman.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Batman was more like he was killing, but he was still kind of Batman still. But the thing that was for me short-sighted about Batman killing was like, okay, but aren't you going to, clearly you're setting up for a Flashpoint movie. And if you're setting up for a Flashpoint movie or say a Black Adam movie, the whole point of Flashpoint's Batman is that he kills, right? That's the difference between him and the main universe Batman. So why on earth would we be shocked by the Flashpoint Batman who kills if the main universe Batman already kills? And then furthermore, I think to myself, this Batman should be in jail. There's no two ways about it. He should be in jail. Superman should never want to work with him. None of the Justice League should want to work with him. Sure, Superman killed. It's true. Superman killed a terrorist. Superman killed Zod. But he didn't kill random people who were just trying to, essentially transport kryptonite from one place to another. That's going over the line. Now you're a serial killer. Those guys may have had families. That wasn't established that they were, massive criminals or anything. They were just transporting one thing from one place to another. So I just, sorry.
Hey, hold on. I'm trying to get in the house real quick. Hold on. I'm listening. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying. So that to me is like, I don't understand why he isn't in court. He isn't on criminal charges for homicide. this Batman can never be rehabilitated just because he doesn't get to just kill people because he's Batman. That's what I don't understand. Like, you don't just get to kill random people because you're Batman and therefore it's okay. So that's my problem with this Batman and branding people and torturing people and all of those things. So I'm going to get to some of these comments now. That's subjective. I don't know who you're talking to, which one, Mike. He's a terrible storyteller. That is subjective. I don't know who you're talking about. Are you talking about Snyder? Of course, Philosophical Pickle with his sarcastic comics. You restore the slow-mo verse. That's Philosophical Pickle with his funny comments. Once again, hilarious. I'm going to be destroying Philosophical Pickle today on a Game of Thrones debate, so tune in for that. It's going to be absolute destruction. Everyone has their opinions, Mike. I like Dawn of the Dead and Man of Steel, but he should not have been given all of DC's heroes. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. We've got here, Snyder can't help himself but just deconstructionist of the DC heroes. He knows how these characters should be, but for some illogical, dumbfounded reason, he just chooses to not to. DC is not always dark. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not even about the darkness. It's just about like the basic character traits of Superman.
Yeah,
would work better in Zack Snyder's universe if he just left them as the basic trait. I don't understand why, because you take Superman to a real world, do you have to make him an asshole? You know, like it's not necessary to do that. You can take him to the real world and just have him be, you know, like it's as if Zack Snyder feels that there are no nice people in the world. That's all Superman is. He's just a nice guy with powers, right? And if you, I feel sorry for him. I mean, has he never met a nice person before? Because he seems pretty nice. Zack Snyder seems like a nice guy himself. So maybe he could just base it around, you know, himself. I don't know, but like he's just, Superman is a nice guy. He doesn't kill. That's all you've got to do, and then you can have the world around him be concerned about his powers, concerned about what he does, concerned about what it means to have a character like him in the real world, while still being true to that kind of character of him being a nice guy with powers. Mike 1V AO2 says, I like the deconstruction. He's doing the Watchmen treatment. He's taking these iconic heroes, which we know and love, and driving them deeper into their stories and unravels more about them. See, I don't agree, because first of all, Superman has barely had any lines in these Zack Snyder movies, so I don't see what the deep dive is into his character. We hardly even know him up until now. We hardly know what he's like as Clark Kent, how he works in his office, you know, just his daily, you know, what he believes in, what he doesn't believe in, what he likes, dislikes. We know none of this about this Superman yet. So I don't see the deep dive into his character. Further, he says, sorry, I've got that echo coming again.
All right, what about now?
Happening. Yeah,
you still hear it? Okay.
Yeah. So he's taking these iconic heroes, which we know and love, and diving deeper. I don't agree that everyone knows and loves Superman or Wonder Woman or, you know, Flash. These are characters that to general audiences, they don't know. You have to remember, not all the general audiences are like huge Superman fans who've watched, Smallville, and they've watched the 78 Superman's a long fucking time ago. I mean, think about that. When 78, it's like you're talking a long fucking time ago, man. Like, people don't know, just because you're a comic book fan and you read comic books and you know who Superman is and you've watched the animated series. When Zack Snyder was doing Man of Steel, he was reintroducing Superman to the world, and now people think of him in a way that is very different from what he is. And you see that, really, I think, when you look at all of these movies and TV shows out nowadays that are all doing evil Supermans, and I think it's so original. You've got it in what's that show called now? Invincible. You've got it in The Boys. You've got it in I can't remember what it was called. There was the young evil Superman. Brightburn. You've got all of those, and that's what people are seeing Superman as. And I think it's almost a result of like Zack Snyder's Zack Snyder's take on the fucking characters. I'll say one more thing before I let you finish, because to me, what I see is like Zack Snyder is like, I always see Zack Snyder in that, that classic poster of Man of Steel, like where he's like basically handcuffed. Superman is handcuffed, and
he's like, hey, did you let him handcuff you?
Yeah, like that's how I see Zack Snyder and his deconstructionist approach. With rabid fans on one side, throwing, the DC animated universe toys at Zack Snyder, and then his fans on the other who are like, you wearing T-shirts saying we don't, we won't say booyah or something. I don't, but like basically, I don't see why there can't be a middle ground to all this, and it's just this idea that people don't know and love these DC characters the way you think they do. You're assuming way too much knowledge on the part of general audiences than I think they actually have. What do you say to that?
Yeah, there's only one character in that whole Snyderverse that we've seen so far. Well, maybe two that should be, three that should be dark. That is Batman, Deathstroke, and Joker. Everybody else shouldn't be that damn dark, right? Superman should not be emo. The always Oscar song, "Daddy wasn't there" type of, guy. Like, it annoyed the hell out of me, right? And you're right. A lot of people aren't Superman fans.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people aren't Wonder. Like I said, Wonder Woman 1 made me a fan of Wonder Woman, right? And
most people, if you ask the general people on the street, name me 5 Superman villains or 3 Superman villains, they wouldn't be able to tell you. Some of them wouldn't even be able to tell you Lex Luthor. Batman is popular. That's the only one. And then you've got
Batman is a DC money grab. Yeah.
If people know Batman, and that's why you can do deconstructions of Batman, like the Joker. The Joker is a deconstruction of Batman's mythos. It's where you're deconstructing it and you're saying, oh, let's look at things from the Joker's point of view. The only reason you do that is because of Batman 89. It's because of the Dark Knight trilogy, because they set up a Batman that is, so that we understand who Batman is to general audiences, because they've all seen those films, and they're like, okay, so now we can play around with the Joker, we can play around with Batman, we can play around with his rogues galleries and do all these fun things. But it's like Zack Snyder wanted to skip that whole thing with Superman and go straight to the deconstruction, and that doesn't work.
Yeah, and I agree. And like you said before, like 1975, yes, it's a long ass time ago. Yeah. And even they kind of went away from the comic book Superman in some fashion. Like the whole clumsy Clark Kent, you didn't see him in Superman before that, but they made it popular. They made it great, right? And then you got what's next? Superman Returns. I'm not gonna go into the show series, but Superman Returns with Brandon Routh.
That's it.
People complain about that. People complain about that.
Yeah, exactly.
So the fandom is just divided. No matter what's done, it's just divided. The best way to
No,
keep
no, they weren't divided. The fandom was not divided on Superman Returns.
I'm talking
I
about
don't.
divided now, right now.
Oh,
Just
now.
yeah, yeah. Superman Returns. It was more so the suit. A lot of people didn't like the suit. It was too dark. Like the little nitpicks like that. You know what I mean? Nothing to do with the character. Just the suit's too dark. You know, and
No,
it's
I think they just didn't think it had a proper villain. I think everyone admits that that film needed a good villain, and
well, I
they
thought the
shouldn't
villain was
and,
okay. The
and they
story
and
was
they
just trash.
and they shouldn't have connected it to the old Superman movies. I think everyone's agreed on that. They should have just done a new Superman, not connected it to the Chris Reeves universe and tried to make a sequel to Superman 2.
Well,
Right?
here's the problem with that, right? And it's because I don't know about you, but I've heard a lot of I'm tired of seeing the origin of Superman over and over again, right?
But we haven't seen it over and over again. That's my
No,
point.
I'm just saying what I've heard, from other
Yeah.
people and from other channels or whatever, right? Like we've seen Superman come down from Krypton and become Superman. We've seen that, right? And
Mm.
for me, I would love to see Superman progress past that. I love how Snyder did the Krypton, how it failed before. I love that. That was dope. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was okay. Guys, do me a favor, give me a high
We're never
five,
gonna agree on this Man of Steel thing. Never.
smash that like button for this dope conversation, man. Smash that like button, subscribe for more content, and send in more comments. We'll respond to the comments. I'm going to go on for like another 10 minutes just to let you know. I'm going to talk about some of the slate for DC films, but man, no, I'm sorry, I'm not. I think it's Krypton. I thought it was uninspired, to be honest. I thought like it was
Really?
grey, it was murky. None of the Kryptonians made sense. I didn't get the vibe that this was really a futuristic society. I thought this was a bunch of fucking idiots. And
Oh my God.
and to be honest, I was like, what, like, it was overcomplicating it in some ways and not in a very clever way. Like, again, I always go back to Batman Begins, because Batman Begins did everything perfectly that Zack Snyder is trying to do in a way. And Batman Begins really, it looked at like the features of the comic book and cartoon character of Batman and said, let's think about, like, really logically think about what that person looks like in the real world, right? What that, and so for me, if I'm thinking along that logic in Man of Steel, I think Krypton was way too comic booky for me. I'm like, I want to see an advanced society. If I'm thinking of an advanced, society, I want to see like, oh, this is what humans will be like if we survive for another, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 years or something. This is what humans will actually evolve into. Right. This is what happens when AI and all of these kind of technologies occupy the world. And that's what I was not expecting from Krypton, but I think if you're looking at it logically, that's what I would have wanted to do. I wouldn't have wanted people talking like knights from the round table, like why would we be talking like knights? You know what I mean, from from ancient history in a future reality. Why would there was just a bunch of shit. Like, I just was like, this is just all just trash. Like, Krypton probably was one of my least favorite parts of the movie, if I'm going to be honest. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Well,
I'm going to get three people switch off. Three people are going to stop watching now. I bet you.
No, yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. I will say this. Atlantis did seem more advanced than Krypton did.
Yeah, I liked
Yeah, I will
Atlantis.
say that it did look more advanced.
I liked Zack Snyder's Atlantis, and I liked what's his name's Atlantis,
James Wan.
James Wan's Atlantis.
Yeah,
That looked dope. That was like,
yeah.
oh shit, that's what I think. I mean, to be fair, James Wan was going for a more comic booky kind of thing. So I didn't mind that his Atlantis had people talking. I don't know why they always go to that trope though. Every time it's like when they're doing like Atlantis or Krypton, they always have to talk like Knights of the Round Table. They have to have like armor, like, you know. I don't buy that. It works with the Amazons, you know, because they're from ancient Greece, so that makes sense there. But with the I told you one person's going to switch off as soon as they hear me talk about Krypton. They can't take it, man. But yeah, like that works with that. But like in terms of Kryptonians, I would much rather them be in an advanced scientific society, I guess. But again, I don't, you know, I'm not saying the movie is bad because of that, because that's just my opinion. And, you know, that would be my film. That's how I would do it. Two people have now left. That would be how I would do it, but that's not how everyone else has to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I got you.
If they've got their own ideas, then they've got their own ideas. It just doesn't work for me. I've seen it done a little bit better, I think, in the comics. So last things last, I wanted to talk about like the slates. So what have we got here? Elseworlds. So I did. Now these are facts. Would have loved a direct sequel. Don't know what that means. Direct sequel to Man of Steel, where Clark saves people while fighting, will be a better movie than BVS or Justice League. If he is happy for a few minutes, then dark. It would make sense. He is evil. Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, you have to build up to an evil Superman, otherwise it has no impact. Because the problem is, I don't care about this Superman at the moment. I care about the Superman from the Justice League a tiny bit. It got me a little bit invested in him, but I still don't fully care or know who this Superman is. So this is where I never understand why Snyder fans are always talking about this deep character that he is. I think he's very hollow as a character. I don't think you know him very much at all. So I think you needed a Man of Steel 2. I hope Cavill can get a Man of Steel 2 with Brainiac and really flesh out that character, and let's see him be who he's supposed to be for the first time in all of these movies.
You know, if Rock gets his way, we might have it.
Oh God, not Rock versus Superman. That's another bad idea.
I mean, he did say he wanted to produce a Man of Steel 2, so we never know.
Yeah, all right. I don't want. It's all bad. We're going to talk about the slate in just a minute. The fandom was bored. Superman Returns did nothing new, and the directors should be punched in the face for making Christopher Reeve Superman a deadbeat dad. Yeah, as I said, I think that was the problem with Superman Returns. I don't think it was divisive. I think most people agree on the problems with it. The villain was terrible. And connecting it to the Chris Reeves universe was silly. They should have just done a new Superman movie, you know, just completely new. And then you don't have to be, you know, bring back the Lex Luthor, who's a fucking property or whatever, like a real estate kind of criminal and all of that silliness. They could have just done a better job there. So I agree with that. I like the movie, but I see its problems, and I don't think there's division in fans. I think there's division with Man of Steel because there's such good elements to it. It's got that great score. It's got that great cinematography. It's got that great, a great actor, or not a great actor, but a really good actor for the role of Superman. People could sense that even from his performance in Man of Steel. It's got a great cast. It's got so many good things going for it. The idea behind it of, oh my God, what if Superman was in the real world, and would we fear him? A great idea for a film. My problem is that, and why I think it's divisive, is because it wasn't Superman. The character himself was not Superman.
Exactly.
It was something else, and that's why I think Superman fans don't like it very much. That is the reason I love SNL. What's SNL? Superman and Lois. It keeps the spirit of the early movie, but also advances the story. Belanti and Helberg found a way to find a middle ground for Superman with Donner and Snyder. Yeah, I think they have actually. And I'd like to see a big budget version of film of that universe.
The only thing I don't like about Superman and Lois, Superman is always getting his ass kicked every damn show. Every time he puts a suit on, he's getting his ass kicked. That's the only thing I don't like about it.
I don't think so. I think that's good. I think a vulnerable Superman is a better idea than one that's always just able to, like he doesn't have any problems, like in Justice League. I think it's not a relatable Superman. I think a Superman who struggles a bit, I find a little bit more relatable. Not getting his ass whipped all the time, but Superman isn't a fighter. That's what people don't realize.
He's a brawler. He'll come in
brawler. He doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, he's not a technical guy. So Superman and Lois has the same sense of cinematic style Snyder had, but also more of the spirit of earlier Superman movies.
I agree with that.
I agree completely with that. So let's go on, finally, and just talk about this slate. So this is why I looking at this slate now, I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but looking at this slate now, this is why I'm so close to wanting to be like hashtag restore the Snyderverse. But it's like being caught between a rock and a hard place. Like the Green Lantern Corps, as I understand it, is a TV show that doesn't have Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart in it. So as that looks good, but it isn't good.
So who are they going to have in it?
I don't know.
Oh,
just
wow.
other Green Lanterns, and then the Flash. I'm glad they're not calling it the Flashpoint anymore. I'm glad Andy Muschietti is clearing that up. He's not calling it the Flashpoint anymore. Hopefully, they stay away from that story enough where you can actually still do the Atlanteans versus the Amazonians and the Dark Batman and all of those kind of things in this universe. So, but if the Flash is more like Flashpoint again, you're doing a fucking sequel before you've done the origin movie. And I think now people can see from Zack Snyder's Justice League that the Flash certainly can have a movie by himself and it be very successful. I think the Flash movie, just on the basis of what Zack Snyder did in his movie, if it's good, it's going to make $1 billion. I bet you that now. Aquaman 2, I think is going to, I don't like Aquaman 1. It's a weird film for me, but we'll see what that does.
I agree. I think Aquaman was an overrated film. I liked it, but I didn't think it should have been $1 billion film. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I don't think it should have been $1 billion film either. So Shazam, Superman, I like Shazam. I hope that's going to be good. But Superman, this Ta-Nehisi Coates thing is like, it's fucking crazy to me. How have they got this guy Ta-Nehisi Coates writing a fucking Superman movie, writing a black Superman movie? It makes no sense to me. I I don't understand even what's going on with that. When you've got a perfectly good Superman in Henry Cavill who wants to come back, he's, people now love him as Superman, and you can do a Superman Brainiac movie. There's things I still don't like about him till this day. I still have some problems with his power scaling is too much for the Justice League, and there's stuff I don't like about him. But like all in all, I think like I'm interested in after the Justice League. So I don't know why. So all of this and then all of the rest: Static Shock, Zatanna, Batgirl, Hourman, Blue Beetle. What is going on?
Yeah,
what is that?
Supergirl? Something on HBO Max, like a series on there or something. Zatanna, same thing with that. Blue Beetle. Well, I mean,
what is this? Are they setting up for a team movie between them? Because I can deal with that. If they're setting up for a Zatanna, Static Shock, Batgirl, Hourman, Supergirl, Blue Beetle, like they're gonna team up, then I can handle that. But as a fucking movie as movies in and of themselves leading up to nothing, I just think, what is this garbage? This isn't a slate, to me. Like,
Wonder Woman shouldn't even be involved with that girl at all. To me, Hourman should be somebody with JSA, right? That I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. So let's talk about this just in terms of hashtag restore the Snyderverse now. The impulse is there, right? Like, I honestly, if they could, again, it's this nightmare universe. That's why I can't support it. That's ultimately it. He wants to kill fucking Wonder Woman. He wants to kill,
Wonder Woman, Aquaman. I think
everyone.
Mira's one of the only ones that survives, and somebody else.
Yeah. He doesn't want to get green. Like I saw no mention of Green Lantern or Martian Manhunter in any of his sequel ideas. So what's the point of even bringing Martian Manhunter into? You bring Martian Manhunter in this terrible way as General Swanwick, rather than casting a new guy to do it and making sense of why he hasn't been there. He hasn't been helping the Justice League or helping Superman, all of these people during all these massive global crises. Same with Green Lantern. You could have taken a slow time to build those two characters and then go into a new Justice League movie directed by Zack Snyder, have them on an adventure, and then you can go into the Nightmare Universe. But again, I cannot hashtag restore the Snyderverse while he wants to do this nightmare deconstruction again, once he's just got everybody on board with his versions of the superheroes finally.
Yeah. See, the thing with Zack Snyder, like a boxer, like he has a really good punch. He's not accurate, right? Like he can deliver. He has great ideas, but he goes too far with them. Like, you know what I mean? This, like I said, you want to kill Wonder Woman, you want to kill Aquaman, you want to leave Mirror running around. Who cares about her anyway? And it's just he wants to kill Batman too, I believe. It's like, dude, why? I just want to know why he wants to kill him.
I just want to just to ask the Snyder fans, what do they really think, genuinely in their heart of hearts, is going to be the critical reception if that's the second movie? Do they not think that they're going to get all of this stuff? They rushed the universe. They did it again. They're trying to catch up with Marvel. All of the complaints that he's been getting and the DC universe has been getting, it's going to happen again. And it makes me think, when I hear his plans for the Justice League, it makes me think, hey, maybe it wasn't the Warner Brothers studios that were trying to rush and catch up with Marvel. Maybe it was Zack Snyder who was, the architect of making that Batman v Superman movie as a sequel to Man of Steel instead of sticking with Superman sequels. and letting the other characters have their solo movies first. Maybe it was, I really get the feeling that it wasn't as much the studio's idea. When I see his plans for the future, as some have been trying to say, and as I said, yeah, that criticism of them trying to rush, trying to catch up with Marvel, I think that's going to be the critical reception, and it's going to break Zack Snyder's fans' hearts when that happens. It's going to be just as devastating to them as it is to the DC universe and DC fans in general.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I like it, and I say this all the time. DCEU is just, they need to just regroup, like with the Flash, if they're doing Flashpoint with or whatever they're doing, regroup, right? Okay, let's do this over, since we're pretty much starting a new reality, and do it right. Right? That's what needs to happen. So with this slate, let's say you got the Batman, right? You can start off with that. We got the Batman, even though it's like maybe a year 2, year 3 Batman. Okay, we know we've seen his parents die billions of times. I don't think I need to see that anymore. I think even a casual moviegoer knows that his parents died, right? Like, we know that. Start with Batman. Bring in Wonder Woman 3 with, I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with that. It's too much unknown, right? It's that unknown that worries me. But with the MCU, you kind of have an idea where they're gonna go with it. With the DC, I don't know what they're about to do. I have no idea.
Well, as I said, I don't think it's as hard as people are making out. I think they can really salvage things quite easily, to be honest, with just a little bit of imagination. It's just, you just need to bring Cavill back, and you need Gal Gadot's in place. Just get some director, get some people doing pitches for Wonder Woman 3. No, don't just rely on Patty Jenkins. Actually seek out people to do alternative pitches for that movie. Get people pitching for Superman. As I know, there's a number of directors who've come out saying they want to do a Superman movie. It's not even like they're actually saying to Warner Brothers, yeah, we want to do it. Green Lantern Corps, get that going. Get the other, what's it called, Martian, maybe do a Martian Manhunter movie, and then you can just move on to a second Justice League movie. I really don't think it's as difficult as people make out. And you've got this multiverse excuse now, so you could just have somebody like Robert Pattinson as he can be a Batman in one universe where where only the Batman exists in that universe, and then still play a Justice League Batman as well, where he's in a different universe where it just happens to be he's a more advanced Batman who's part of the Justice League. I think people would be able to wrap their heads around that. It's just a multiverse thing, that Robert Pattinson is just Batman. He's a different Batman, and you could even do a movie where the two Batmans meet or something. I don't think that's a big deal. Or I honestly don't think that's a big deal.
Well, I keep hearing that there are Easter eggs of other heroes in the Batman film, Pattinson's Batman. So I guess you have to see it to be sure.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that they could do is launch a Trinity, like the DC Trinity, just in Pattinson's universe, and just reboot and have them, I think, if you're going to do a more realistic Superman, look at something like American Alien. That would fit more into that Pattinson universe. It's like a comic book series by Max Landis. I think that would work quite well with the Pattinson universe. It's a bit of a Superman who's very, very powerful, but he's not as powerful as Cavill's Superman. If the Kryptonian punches him, he'll get a black eye. That I want to see that Superman. I want to see a poster of Superman, where he has a black eye, and people are like, wait a second, this is Superman. He's got a black eye. What's going on? Like he has to fight and get, like he's not a trained fighter in that kind of way. So he has to get down and rough when he fights somebody as strong as him or who's on the same power level. But he still gets the things done. And you could do another Wonder Woman in that movie again, a little bit more grounded kind of, and go from there. But I want to finish off just by just looking at some of these comments, and then we're gonna leave this stream. So the GL show is gonna have. Ooh, there's a lot of comments going back here. So GL show, yeah, it's gonna have Simon Baz, Jessica Cruz, Guy Gardner, and Alan Scott. So they're leaving out the two most popular Human Lanterns, hopefully for a future movie. I think that's what's the case. Yeah. And then he says, that's what I'm guessing. Yeah, Hal and John are being saved for a GL movie, but like, where is it? Let's get it going. We haven't got all the time in the world. Honestly, they don't belong on some TV screen. They belong on the movie screen. Yeah, that's true. Agreed. Yeah, Greg Berlanti's only good show is Superman and Lois. He's gonna screw with the GL show. Yeah, I think that's quite possible. It's a good point. I want that Hal John buddy cop lethal weapon style GL court movie. I think that'll be a really good idea for a movie. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm down for it. And I'm kind of wondering if Martian Manhunter will be part of that as well. He should be, since, dealing with space and all that stuff. If they were smart, I think they would. But as we've seen, they aren't that smart, so who knows?
No, they're not that smart.
Yeah, but the buddy cop thing, lethal weapon, yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah. I hope so. I'd much rather I would like a Zack Snyder Green Lantern movie, because I think it goes so against his sensibilities that I'd like to see what he does with it. Because I
think anything visually he touches is going to be a masterpiece. It's a story. Yeah, the writing, that's always been his issues.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. But I'm just saying, yeah, like a Green Lantern movie, like the constructs he'd come up with, like how he'd get them to use their like Green Lantern. I think that would be pretty fucking incredible, to be honest. I hope so. I would much rather that these B-level lanterns being trained by Sinestro. Yeah, okay. Interesting.
Okay.
GL is one of the coolest superheroes ever. I really do want a buddy cop lethal weapons. Yeah, okay, good. Done that.
As long as it's not a rush hour thing, I'm good.
Berlanti loves the DC faces interference, yet works with those. Yeah, a lot of Berlanti. I don't like. Is Greg Berlanti behind the Flash TV show?
That I do not know. I haven't watched the Flash TV show since season 2. So I don't know.
I think he is. I don't like his stuff, to be honest. I think Superman and Lois works pretty well, but I'm waiting for him to slip up with that. Pickle, I hope this GL show isn't gonna ruin the chances for the movie. I don't think so. Wasn't that the original rumor years ago that it would be a buddy cop space show?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I think with Jeff Johns, because Jeff Johns wrote the script, they don't want to go forward with it because of all this Ray Fisher bullshit.
Yeah.
Also, it's officially confirmed that Hal and John are being saved in the movie. And last but not least, yeah, and I want that movie now. I think they should get going with that movie. We haven't got all the time in the world, as I said. GL is really the important one that they need to get off the ground very, very soon for their slate to really make sense, for me to give a fuck about their slate. They need to get a proper Superman. I don't care if it's Henry Cavill or like they're rebooting it, but like a proper one, not Ta-Nehisi Coates written. Let's get someone good on that script and a good director connected to it as well. and a Green Lantern movie, then I'd actually be happy with the slate. You know, you've got the Batman. I want to have some announcement on Wonder Woman 3 that they're going to fix that mess that was Wonder Woman 2. And then I think we've got a decent slate apart from that.
Yeah, besides that Superman stuff, it looks okay. Back here, I don't really care too much about, but it is what it is.
There's a lot of
the
fluff
Amazons
that I
are what I'm
want.
very intrigued with.
The Amazons are what?
I'm very intrigued with the Amazons. I'm really curious about what they're going to do.
Yeah, I would love that, but I don't think they're doing that anymore. So even that one that I was excited for, I don't think they're doing anymore. So anyway, that's really happy we had all of you commenting. It's nice to see some engagement. So or I'm always happy with the engagement, guys. So thanks very much for all the comments. Please do give me a high five. Do like and subscribe, and smash that like button. Subscribe for more content. Obviously, JG Shaolin. We've got to do a reaction to one of your fights soon. But thanks for thanks for coming on. We'll be doing a Game of Thrones debate later. It's my hot take for Tuesday. So tune in to find out what my hot take for Game of Thrones is. So it's basically the concept of Hot Takes Tuesdays is that every Tuesday, me and Philosophical Pickle and perhaps another guest will discuss a hot take that we have about popular culture. So it could be something like, I don't know, what's a good hot take? Tell me one of your hot takes, Charlene, about pop culture.
Pop culture? Oh, man.
Let me see a hot take that I've got. I've got one. Logan isn't that good a movie.
Oh, God. Are you trolling with that one?
See, that's a hot take.
Oh man, I gotta get you on that.
So every week we'll discuss a hot take like that.
Oh my God.
And today we're going to do a hot take on Game of Thrones. So do join me. I think it's 7 p.m. What is it?
It's 3:58 over here, so yeah, it should be 7 p.m. our time.
Yeah, 7 p.m. your time. And apart from that, thanks, guys. I will see you on the flip side, and I love you 3000. Peace. Shaolin, tell them, say it.
Like, subscribe,